Why did SpongeBob SquarePants quietly stop using one of its most unforgettable villains? For years, the Flying Dutchman haunted Bikini Bottom with ghostly powers.
Prepare to be burdened with the haunting memories of my ghostly ghost.
Cursed ship and a booming voice that sent shivers through sea creatures. He was spooky, funny, and iconic. Then, he vanished. Was he too scary for later seasons? Was there a change behind the scenes? Or is there more to his story than we realize? The Flying Dutchman wasn't just a background character. He played major roles in some of the most beloved episodes, like Shanghai, Ghost Host, and The Curse of Bikini Bottom. Fans still quote his lines and wonder why he disappeared. In this video, we're diving deep into the ghostly green mystery. Who exactly is the Flying Dutchman in SpongeBob? What happened to him? And is he coming back? He floats, he glows, he screams like a banshee and collects souls like it's just another Monday. This is the Flying Dutchman. SpongeBob's most fearsome, fabulous, and downright confusing ghost pirate. But who, or what, is he really? In the world of SpongeBob SquarePants, the Flying Dutchman isn't just a one-time scare. He's a full-blown recurring nightmare with a ghost ship, a haunted crew, and enough supernatural powers to make the flying spaghetti monster jealous. One minute he's cursing Bikini Bottom, the next he's crying over someone touching his beard. The chaos? Immaculate. He doesn't fit in with the rest of the sea creatures either. While everyone else is some kind of fish, crab, or sponge, the Dutchman is, well, something else entirely. A ghost of a long-dead pirate, a leftover soul from a cursed timeline, a sea legend who got bored and decided to haunt cartoons. No one knows for sure, and that's what makes him so unforgettable. He's terrifying, yes, but he's also petty. The man, Ghost, has a meltdown over a missing sock. He's scary enough to freeze fish in fear, but also dramatic enough to throw a ghostly temper tantrum when someone questions his beard game. And yet, behind all the jokes and jump scares, there's something off, something the show never really explains. Why does he collect souls? Why is he trapped between the living and the dead? And what is he really after? We're just getting started. The Flying Dutchman didn't sneak into SpongeBob SquarePants. He crashed in, ghost ship, glowing green fog, thunder booming louder than Squidward's complaints. And then, that voice, deep but echoing, slightly British, definitely cursed. We first met him in Scaredy Pants, a Halloween special where SpongeBob tries to be scary, and somehow ends up terrifying the actual ghost pirate of legend. Yes, SpongeBob scared him, or did he? It was funny, it was freaky, but it was just the beginning. The moment fans really felt the Dutchman's presence was in Shanghai. That episode? Pure chaos. SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward get kidnapped onto his flying ghost ship, and the Dutchman? He demands they serve him forever, or else he'll eat their souls. You know, just cartoon stuff. But here's where it gets strange. Right when you think he's going full horror movie, he stops and starts whining about a sock, a dining sock. This haunted terror won't eat without a clean sock on. What kind of ghost pirate etiquette school did he go to? His entrances are epic, smoke, lightning, ghost whales, but his actual goals? Half scary, half therapy session. He wants fear, he wants order, he wants someone to respect the sock rule. But the biggest question fans never got an answer to? Why does he care so much about the rules of haunting? And what's keeping him tied to the world of the living? From the very start, the Flying Dutchman was more than just a villain. He was a glitch in Bikini Bottom's logic, and that's why we watched, wondering what he'd do next. So what exactly can the Flying Dutchman do? Short answer, anything. Long answer, also anything.
Hey, I get a wish too.
But with ghost fire. He's not just a floating pirate, he's a walking haunted house. The guy can phase through walls, levitate, teleport, shapeshift, summon storms, steal souls, curse people, and, if the mood strikes, trap you in a sock dimension. Yeah, that happened. But here's the kicker. With all those powers, you'd think he'd rule the ocean. Instead, he spends most of his time yelling at SpongeBob and losing his mind over table manners. His powers are scary, sure, but it's his personality that really makes him stand out. He's not just spooky, he's dramatic, over the top, a ghostly diva with a short fuse and a deep need for control. He wants to be feared, but also respected. He wants loyalty, but he's terrible at managing his ghost crew. He'll turn you into a sock for sneezing, but cry if you mock his beard. It's like he's stuck somewhere between horror villain and insecure theater kid. And Don't even try to understand his rules, because there's a lot of them. He can only dine with a sock. He refuses to shave his beard because it's the source of his ghostly power. He collects souls, but only sometimes. He floats, but he also sits in chairs. The Flying Dutchman is governed by a weird, unpredictable ghost code that no one really understands, not even him. And that's part of the fun, because every time he shows up, you don't just ask, what will he do? You ask, what weird rule is going to break reality this time? If the Flying Dutchman had a resume, it would be legendary, soul snatcher, ghost boss, full-time screamer, part-time sock enthusiast, and most importantly, scene stealer in some of SpongeBob's best episodes ever. Let's start with Shanghai. This episode isn't just good, it's a cult classic. The Dutchman captures SpongeBob, Patrick, and Squidward, forces them aboard his ghost ship, and announces that their souls now belong to him. But things go sideways fast when SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally trap him in a magic bottle and take over his ship. That's right, the ghost pirate gets mutinied by a sponge and a starfish. The episode is wild from start to finish. Pirate curses, haunted steering wheels, Patrick eating a giant chili, and an ending so chaotic fans got to vote on how it should end. No joke. The original airing included 3 alternate endings. Now that's ghost level storytelling. Next up, Ghost Host. In this one, the Dutchman haunts SpongeBob's house because he's going through a bit of a ghostly midlife crisis. He's lost his edge. His scare game is rusty. So naturally, SpongeBob helps him get his scream back through hugs, chaos, and emotional ghost coaching. Yes, you heard that right. Then there's the Curse of Bikini Bottom. SpongeBob and Patrick accidentally shave off the Dutchman's beard, a sacred beard. In revenge, he curses them to become ghosts. Now they can't touch anything, can't eat, can't do anything fun, but somehow they love it. Which just makes the Dutchman even more frustrated. The guy cannot win. We also have later gems like Ghoul Fools and The Legend of Bikini Bottom, where the Dutchman gets involved in full-scale ghost wars and Halloween chaos. His designs become even spookier, the animation shifts, and his presence feels bigger, more mythic. But still, he's the same emotional, overreacting ghost captain we know and love. Every time he appears, it's a mix of horror, humor, and total unpredictability. Will he curse SpongeBob? Will he cry about socks? Will he explode into green flames for no reason? Yes, probably. All of the above. At one point, the Flying Dutchman was everywhere, haunting houses, cursing sponges, turning up like a ghostly pop-up ad with bad intentions. And then, he was just gone. No big send-off, no final episode. He just faded into the green mist. So what happened? Some fans think it's just the natural evolution of the show. As SpongeBob shifted toward faster-paced comedy and away from spooky themes, characters like the Dutchman didn't fit the new vibe. He's weird, he's slow, he needs fog and build-up. That kind of storytelling doesn't mesh well with newer seasons' rapid-fire tone. Others believe it was behind-the-scenes changes, new writers, new direction. Maybe they just didn't get the Dutchman's bizarre charm. Or maybe they wanted newer villains, like Plankton's expanded tech world or Karen's increasing role. But here's where it gets creepier. Even in episodes that could feature him, he's missing. Haunted house? No Dutchman. Ghost story? Still no sign. It's like he's been ghosted by the very show he helped define. And sure, he pops up here and there. A flashback, a cameo, a brief appearance in a Halloween special. But it's never quite the same. The drama, the fog, the sock jokes, all toned down, controlled. It almost feels like he's being held back by something. Or maybe, and this is where fans get wild, he chose to leave. Why? We'll get to that next.
Oh, I'm sorry, kid. I had no idea how fright-deprived you were.
The Flying Dutchman may be a joke on the surface, but fans think there's way more to him than the show ever lets on. Let's start with the big one. Was he ever alive? There are hints, scattered across episodes, that suggest the Dutchman wasn't always a ghost. In Shanghai, he talks about once being feared by sailors across the sea. In Ghost Host, he mentions being stuck between the living and the dead. So the question is, what happened to him? And how did he die? Some believe he was once a real pirate, maybe the only human who somehow crossed into Bikini Bottom's world. Others think he's the spirit of an ancient sea creature that never found peace. His obsession with souls, rules, and ghost etiquette? That might be him trying to hold on to a past life that's long gone. Another theory? He's SpongeBob's version of the Grim Reaper. Think about it. He appears when souls are at risk. He shows up during fear-based episodes. He's tied to themes of death, transformation, and the afterlife. And yet, he's clumsy, emotional, and terrible at his job. It's like Bikini Bottom's whole spiritual system is run by a washed-up pirate who peaked 200 years ago. And then there's the scariest theory: what if the Dutchman can't leave? What if he's trapped in Bikini Bottom, doomed to haunt a town that's forgotten him? His rare appearances, his crumbling powers, his fading presence, it could all be part of a much darker story the show never explains. Or maybe he's just taking a really long ghost nap. Either way, the mystery remains. And that's exactly why fans keep digging. The Flying Dutchman isn't just a side character, he's a vibe. A glowing green legend who screamed, cursed, floated through walls, and somehow still got upset over dinner socks. He gave us jump scares, laughs, and moments of pure cartoon chaos. And even though he's vanished from the spotlight, fans haven't forgotten him. Because the Dutchman represented more than just fear. He was SpongeBob at its weirdest, its most creative, and its most unpredictable. You never knew what he was going to do next. And now you never know if he's coming back. Will he rise again in a future episode? Will he make a surprise return in a SpongeBob movie, scarier and funnier than ever? Or has he finally moved on to haunt another cartoon? Whatever the case, the Flying Dutchman left a ghostly imprint on Bikini Bottom, and on every fan who ever saw his ship roll in from the fog. So the next time you're watching SpongeBob and the sky turns green, listen closely, you just might hear a scream, a thunderclap, and a voice whispering, "Who dares wake the Flying Dutchman?"
Would anyone else like to enter the fly of despair?